So I went with this manual steering box I had laying around to save time, because my power steering box, I'm just not going to have enough time to send it out to get rebuilt. So I bought one of these adapters to go from a manual box to a power steering column, which is shorter. So the manual box is shorter, and if you have a power steering column, that's shorter to accommodate the longer power steering box. So you got to buy one of these adapters if you're going to go to a manual box with a power steering column. Anyway, you can see, there's a lot of, got the shock tower and the header in the way. It's not impossible, but I haven't bolted the car down yet to the K-member, and I still have the cherry picker hooked up. So I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of that, lift the car up, and work on the steering, putting this in from the side with a bunch of open space. Anyway, here we go. Alright, instructions say that to align, see that scribe line? There's a scribe line there. Align that to the wide mark on the teeth of this thing, which is right there. See if I can zoom in. See that? It's like all the teeth are spaced apart evenly, except when you get right here, there's like a, it's like it's missing a tooth. So we're going to align that line to that, just like so. First, let's put some grease on here. There we go. Then rotate this. It comes with 2 roll pins, so I'm going to put this roll pin right here. Alright, this shifter lever is to the Hurst shifter kit that I used to have on the blue Roadrunner. I ran this trans in that car. I'm gonna keep the floor shift that's in the Charger, so I need to pull this off and put a factory arm on it. Took all of this off of the other 440 I pulled out of this car. This is the kick down. I'm gonna leave it off, but I want to keep it in a safe place because I just want to make sure that I don't lose it. I know it's to a 68 and stuff. Alright, so this is gonna go over here. Oh no, this way? Yeah, that way. Alright. By the way, this is a manual valve body in this transmission. That's why I'm not going to bother hooking up any of the kick down. So I have to manually shift the car from gear to gear. Alright, I'm about to put the K-member bolts into the car. I'm going to go ahead and state this, since it's possible that this isn't exactly a normal size socket. This is a 1 1/16 socket. That's the size of the K-member head on this thing. So if you don't have that in your tool set, make sure you get one before you attempt to do this at home. And I'm just going to throw a little grease in the threads so that this thing doesn't rust in there 20 years from now. 'Cause you never know. You may have to pull it back out at some point. Hopefully not. So here's a little trivia for you. The 68K member has these plates welded into it, or I guess maybe it's not welded but stamped where it wraps around like this. The 69K member is very similar to the 68K member, only it doesn't have these. The 70K member doesn't have these also, but has a relief in the K member here so that the sway bar goes through the K member instead of in front of the K member. So this is what gives away the 68K member. Now, that's what John was telling me. What I don't know is what the 66 and 7K members look like. I don't know if they have this or not. I do have a 66 Belvedere, our club car, I could go look at. So I'll check that out. Something else, if you're curious, a 69 and 68K member will work in place of each other. There's really no dimensional difference or how it attaches to the car or the engine. So if you have a 69, you're putting it in a 68, wonder if it'll work work. Even the 70 will work. The only difference is the 70 has a different sway bar attachment on the lower control arm. So if you have like a factory style welded on bracket for the sway bar, it's going to be different between the 70 and the 68 and 9s. So you couldn't use it. You'd have to take you'd have to at least take the lower control arms from a 70 to use it with the 70K member, unless you're using an aftermarket sway bar and your lower control arms don't have any brackets on them at all. Then you can drill a hole, bolt them on, or weld them on. Welding is better, of course. Alright, K member's in. Now I gotta do the trans mount. Alright, so my original bolts were kind of a hodgepodge and some of the washers weren't right. Yeah, anyway, it was like a mix. These 68s have big freaking bolts going through the trans mount. In the later years, they put some smaller bolts in there. But anyway, if you're missing your bolts, you need to know what will work, at least for the 68 Charger. These are 4-inch long, 1/2-inch 13. So it's like 1/2-inch dash 13 is the thread. So one set I have, it's got kind of like a lead in right here, which is better, trying to get it to feed through the cross member and the frame, but these will work. And then they normally have like big washers, and then the nuts have like these dimples in there, so it gets really tight when you tighten this up. So obviously these don't have that, so I'm going to use a lock washer and throw these guys on there. This washer, you know, all of this is grade 8 stuff, so it's pretty strong. This washer is a 7/16, so it's a little bit smaller, but it fits over the 1/2-inch bolt. I did that just so that it's tight and not rattling around. So, and then this lock washer is a normal 1/2-inch, 1/13. So, all right, we're gonna put these in.